What's up, folks? It's Backyard Ron in my backyard. Something, no idea what that is. No. I'm in my backyard. This is the rated challenge, run a trail every day. Today, I've got an update video for you because my big run, quote unquote, was yesterday, where I went to Frozen Head. So I got to update on that. Short update on, well, maybe not short, but update on Phil Gore. And then hopefully some thoughts and other ramblings. So this could be a long video, so strap yourself in or whatever it is you do while you're consuming this video, and let's talk about it. So yeah, yesterday was Frozen Head, home of the Barkley Marathons. Now, of course, I'm not running off trail or remotely doing anything similar to the Barkley Marathons, but maybe Barkley Fall Classic, for those who know. That's let's say it's a baby version, not even child, amoeba version of the Barkley Marathons, where there's a set course, the runners know where they're going for the most part, and it just sort of mimics, it's an echo of the Barkley Marathon. I can't remember if it's like 50K or 50 miles, maybe somewhere in between. Not real sure. But anyways, I'm out there at Frozen Head State Park. Now, I've ran out there many times, numerous. I used to travel close by for work, so after work I would go out there and run the trails, but it was usually in the fall, and you have to be off the trail before sunset, so in the fall, obviously, and then having to work all day, I only had like an hour out there, so I would have to be doing just a short, quick run, maybe up to the fire tower and then back. So my first thoughts were, well, I didn't get that video uploaded yesterday, so let's talk about that. I am an amateur video editor / I guess YouTuber. I don't really want to be that, but anyways, vlogger. I think that's a good term at this point. I've made 70 some videos, edited a handful. So yeah, I had issues right off the bat because my phone, I was using an older phone to record everything, and the battery was dead by the time I got to the fire tower. So, I try to use the older phone so I can not have to worry about it like dropping or something happening to it, right? But that turned out to kick me in the butt because I had the video quality on UHD, which takes like an infinitely more larger video. So the phone was like out of space because I had recorded like a 20-minute video or something. So I'll try to upload that, but I wanted to edit the video and like add some text and like little introductions, and like that's kind of fun for me. I do like editing videos, and in my mind I am a video editor. I was an artist, so it appeals to me to do things like that and learn more about that, because like I said, I am an amateur and I just like doing that. It's a creative thing for me. So anyways, I had planned to make it like a really interesting video and have like all this different stuff, but then I didn't get to shoot hardly any of the course that I wanted to. So the video, let's say it's harder to edit than just uploading a single rambling like this, because it takes a long time. You've got to add text, you've got to cut out areas of the video. Anyways, you probably don't care about all that. So Point was, I didn't upload yesterday. I try to upload every day. So that video will come when I get a chance to edit it in a way that makes sense, I guess. Even if I just throw a little bit of different things on top. But I was trying to use a different program too. So then that had its challenges because the program I was using was really easy to edit with and the other one not. But it's open source. So I was like, well, I really would rather use this open source one. And yeah, so I'll figure that out later. But yeah, yesterday was day 75. I think today's day 76. I could be wrong. Not really sure. I usually don't remember until I get back and look at yesterday's video. But since I didn't do that, or I tried to do that yesterday, but it literally took almost an hour for the video to copy over to just to be edited. So then it was already late, and I was, this was a tough run. So I went out there. The goal was to do 8 hours. I ended up being around just under 7 hours maybe on the trails out there. And so the first trail, you start off and it's chimney top. You go straight up the mountain. You're straight up. I had 1,000 feet by 2 miles. And then when I did hit the fire tower, I was at 3,000 feet. So quite a substantial difference. And that was, 3,000 feet, I was at 7 miles, I think, when I finally got to the fire tower. So, one thing I underestimated was, going that way takes a little bit longer. Usually I go straight to the fire tower, which you can do in like maybe 5 miles. And so my calculations were a little off on my nutrition. I just thought I would be back to my aid quicker than what I was. So when I got up there, I realized, I'm almost out of water already. So fortunately, the downhill is faster, so I was able to get back, not too bad. I think it was like 11, 12 miles when I got back to the car. Refueled. I had a cooler. So, refill my bottle and all that, and grab some more snacks and stuff them in my pockets and everywhere. But still, I think I was under fueled basically the entire day, just because I had miscalculated how long it would take because I was going slower. Usually when I go out there, I want to like really push the climbs and really run the downhills, but I was taking it easier. So here's the thing. Frozen Head is extremely technical. There are roots and rocks and all kinds of stuff on the ground. And so you have to be super careful with your footing. And the last thing I wanted was to twist an ankle. So for me, that meant slowing down significantly to where I had ran in the past. So, it took me a lot longer just to cover the same distance. So yeah, the technicality really brought me back to reality. I was like, man, this is a tough. And these are marked, these are trails that are pretty well worn. Some of them were overgrown, especially up on Chimney Top. There's weeds and stuff sticking out and stuff scraping me. Horse flies were on the back of my calves. I was like, oh, my calf is really itchy. And then I look down and there's a giant 3-foot horsefly biting my calf. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was brutal. So the other thing was, I was running after a storm had come through, and we've had a lot of rain lately. So there is just debris all over and huge trees across the entire trail. Like, you can't really get through them, so you've got to slow. Like, I don't know, slow. You basically have to, like, it's like an obstacle course, and you got to take your time. And everything was still slippery because it was wet. So yeah, it was just really hard to navigate. Harder than I've ever been out there before. There was just so many trees down. huge trees, and smaller stuff too. So like you're just constantly jumping or looking for stuff on the ground. Like I said, I didn't want to sprain my ankle either, so I am being really careful about where I place my foot. Now I did do a good job, because later on into the run I was like, I am not going to relax and just kind of zone out, because when you do that, you are not looking. You're not looking at that rock. You land on it wrong, and bam. I was a half a mile from my car last year before Biggs when I sprained my ankle. And it's because I had zoned out. I was wrapping up the run. I was almost done with the run. And then I hit one rock wrong. That's hard to say. And there wiped away any chance I had in that race of doing, even one day. So I was trying not to do that, and that slowed things down quite a bit. But Frozen Head is a beautiful area, and the trails are awesome. But if you're new to trail running, be prepared, because it is difficult. It is one of the hardest areas to run in my opinion, and depending on what trail you do. But there are definitely tougher trails. And then the climbs, like I said, 1,000 feet of climbing, it's 500 feet per mile. So, you're basically going straight up the mountain. And then there's a lot of rollers too, so you're kind of get a little break to go downhill. But even the downhills are not fast, like I said, because you have to watch your footing. Now you could absolutely bomb down those downhills, like it's possible, but I want to be careful and not do anything too stupid. So the run went really good. I got up to the fire tower, I could see all the different mountains and stuff up there, and made it up to Chimney Top. I was absolutely drenched. So it was incredibly humid yesterday morning. There was fog in the air the whole way driving out there. So I knew it was going to be like humid, but I didn't realize like how bad it was going to be. My shirt was entirely drenched in sweat 1 mile in, like already. Met an older gentleman on the trail out there, and I talked to him. So, between all the blowdowns across the course and just the elevation and the technicality, it was a slower day for me. And I didn't even end up getting as many miles as I did last weekend at the Fort Frenzy, despite severe heat exhaustion. Now, I wouldn't say I had heat exhaustion yesterday. Like, somehow, despite the humidity, it didn't really bother me that much in terms of running. It was just the technicality of the course and elevation. But yeah, I ended up with 27 miles on that terrain. So I was happy with it. But I wanted more. Like, I wanted to be closer to 40 miles. But that just was not going to happen with all the trees down across the trail. So I'm coming up on a down tree. It's huge. I'm talking probably a 200-foot tall tree. And it's all the way from over there. It goes clear down across the trail, and then even farther down off the side of a cliff. And I'm like, how the heck am I going to get through this? Because it was really difficult to navigate. I'm like trying to step over branches, and then it got to the point where the tree was so big I couldn't get through it, like going straight through and over. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go down the side, and then I'll go back up and around it. So I'm starting to go down. I'm literally vertical, holding onto this tree. Like, I am up against the side of the cliff, off the trail, and I look over. I'm about, a quarter way through the tree, and I look over and I see a hornet's nest with like 1,000 hornets. I was so scared. I was like, I could get killed out here. Like I could literally die if these things attack me right now, because I am up, I don't know, 3 miles up the trail. I've only seen one other person all day. If I get attacked by bees, I could easily die. Like, that's crazy, but that's how it goes. Like, so I like froze, because it was there. Like, I'm here, it was like right there at 2 feet away, and I'm on a tree vertical holding on to it, and I'm like, I just backed up. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna back up, because it was in the way. Like, I needed to go that direction. And so I back up, and I'm like, how am I gonna get down this? So I literally just scaled down all the way down the cliff, as far as I could, just to get around this hornet's nest. I don't know how long that took me. Probably, you're scaling down a cliff. That's probably what the Barkley Marathons is like. You got it, because it's off the trail and you're just going up and down that. That's crazy, man. Like, that's why it takes 24 hours to do a marathon out there. It might be a little bit more, but that's why it takes an entire day just to go 26 miles. Because I'm on the marked trails with some, various down trees. And it took me 7 hours to run 27 miles. Whereas last week I did 29 miles in 6 hours. So that's how difficult it is. And if you're off trail, forget about it. And you don't even have a map. So you're literally using a compass to figure out where you got to go. It's no wonder. It's a miracle anyone even makes it at all. I think like 15 people have finished the Barkley marathons in like 30 or 40 years, something. But it is possible somehow. People find a way. Anyways, I had a great time running out there, and will I do it again before Biggs? I think in terms of the elevation that I was looking for, it was close. I had 6,500 feet. The parking lots were being paved and remodeled. Likely they're getting a lot of money because of the popularity of Barkley. And so they redid all this stuff out there, and they're renovating everything. But the trail was blocked off to Bird Mountain. And so I didn't run over there, and that was going to be my big second climb. I chose a different second climb, and I'm glad I did, because I really enjoyed it. It's the one where had the hornet's nest on it. Now, if I had just been running the trail and that tree hadn't fallen down, I wouldn't have even noticed that hornet's nest. It was far enough away from the trail where I don't think it would have bothered anybody, but still, it was there. And anyways, the Bird Mountain, whatever the trail is called, it might not be Bird Trail, but it was blocked off, and so I didn't go that way until I got back. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go run up it anyways. So I did. There's like a Jeep road, so I didn't run the actual trail, but I ran like that's probably like a service road that's really steep, and so I got another 400 feet just on that little road when I came back, because I was like at 6,200 or something, and I was like, I want a little bit more elevation today. So I went and did that, and that was actually the toughest part of the day. There was gnats all over me, and it was hot. It was the middle of the day, because it was closing on 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had been running since 8 o'clock. But with my various stops and talking to people and refueling and getting around bees' nests and all that stuff, it literally took me an extra hour of like rest time and restock time and navigating down trees. So, if you're going to go out there, you got to plan for whatever. And I didn't really factor that in when I planned the route. So if I did it again, I would definitely probably not do it like right after a storm, number one, and number two, just allow a little bit more recovery time and time for like climbing those hills, mountains. It's definitely a mountain. So yeah, anyways, Frozen Head is really fun, but it's also super technical, and in my opinion, I think it's kind of dangerous because there's just so many opportunities to twist an ankle or something. Like the trail is too technical if you want to use it as a training run, unless you're training for, I would say, unless you're training for Eastern States. That's a race I did in Pennsylvania, and it is similarly technical. I would actually say Eastern States is on par or slightly worse, especially a few areas of that course where there were so many rocks. I literally didn't know where the trail was. It was just rocks everywhere, and you're running on it. And I'm like, I don't know if this is a trail or not. So it's not that bad. But again, that was only a few areas, and there's definitely runnable parts of that course, but it's tough. So yeah, unless you're training for a super technical course, or maybe like the one out in Hawaii is super rooty. So if you want roots, that's your place. There's just roots everywhere, rocks everywhere, random stuff, sticks poking out. And then on the second climb, there were spider webs. So I was literally just eating spider webs the entire way up. It was nasty. I didn't really enjoy that, but it was a good climb. Second climb. So I ended up doing about 4 climbs out there, substantial. And yeah, 6,500 feet. So last weekend on at the 4, it was 4,000 feet. And 2 more miles. So that's about where I stand on that. So it was a good run, a good training run. Really confident. In terms of health, the hamstring was not an issue, but the Achilles was. So the Achilles was definitely flaring up randomly, and sometimes almost painful enough to make me stop running. So it was definitely hurting at various points, and then other points it wasn't. I do have a podiatrist, seeing the podiatrist, so we'll see if we can't figure out what's going on that. But in terms of being able to run, obviously I've done, last weekend 30 miles, 6 hours, this weekend 7 hours over a marathon. So I can run. Like I just got to stop making excuses, suck it up, and move forward, and hope I can resolve that issue. Because if I can, there will literally be nothing holding me back, because that's the only thing holding me back right now, and that's the only thing that's been holding me back for the past few years. So we'll see. Well, I wouldn't say the only thing. There's definitely been some motivational factors and knee issues and other things that I've had to deal with. So, and health issues, not with me, but my wife has had health issues. So it's definitely been a difficult couple years. So yeah, it was a good run. I was happy to get back out on that trail, and very enjoyable day. And like I said, I definitely had a few issues, and nutritionally could have done a little bit better there. What else? That's about it. Alright, so moving on, we'll go to a different topic. Phil Gore. He is the world record holder for backyard ultras with 119 yards. That's like 400 and 500 miles or something. 495 or 500 miles. Right at that. he is doing Project 168. I will try to link that in the description. Of course, I say that and then I forget, but I'll try and link it in the description. He's doing a live stream of his attempt. Project 168 is to do 168 yards. He wants to run for an entire week in the backyard format. Now, this is not an official backyard. He doesn't have any competition. It's literally just him, his crew, and then random donors. Now, all of the donations go to charity. So I think he's up to $30,000 at the moment. And like I said, it's all being live streamed. It's not, Last Soul ultra level, but it's just nice to have something different. And if you're interested, go check that out. The commentators are going to try to do the best that they can, and I know Phil's going to do the best that he can. So, let's see. I am excited for Phil. I think it's a good challenge for him. He's never had anybody push him beyond whatever his current PR was, except for once. He went to the backyard, and I think, 23, or it's one of the championship years, obviously, because he doesn't run here on the off year, so it wouldn't be 23. It'd have been like 22 or 24 or something. But I think he got just over 100 miles on the Bigs course before he DNF'd. So, he's not impervious. He's not immune to the same stuff that we are. He's just gotten better at it. And anyways, what are my predictions? So, prediction time. Do I think he can even do it? Honestly, I don't know. I think 119 hours without sleep is tough. But he's on a flat course. He's not on the Bigs course. Also, he's doing it for a good cause. So there's all these little different factors versus a real backyard. Real, quote unquote. I think in competition, you sort of have your mind in a different place. But also, he has no pressure. Like, the only pressure he has is internal. Like, there is no external pressure to him, because I don't want to say that, but there's it's just a different type of pressure where, it's only positive pressure. There's really no negative. Like, even if he fails, whatever, there's nothing on the line. And I can't say that either, because, he is doing it for charity, so the charity's on the line. But, and he's also said, hey, I am going 168. Like, he's said that. He's put that out there. So now he sort of is obligated, I guess, to do it. And if he doesn't, then that's going to be considered a failure by the general public. I don't think it would be a failure, but I'm just saying, in general, people, when you call your shot and you don't get it, people come out of the woodwork to put you down, right? The haters come out of everywhere. And that's all that you're remembered for, is the time that you said, oh, I'm going to win this, and then you didn't. So I think it's bold, and I think it's a really cool concept. So he definitely has some pressure, but it's a different kind than normal. I think he's used to that, though. Like, I really think that, he's been at the top of the game for so long. He was the first one to break the 100, or up, he was one of the first ones to break 100 yards in the backyard format. So, yeah. All right, let's just say my prediction. I think he will get really close to 168. I think he'll be close. How close? I can't say for sure. I would say in the 140 range. Here's the thing. The huge benefit that he has is on the flat course, he can almost get as much sleep as he wants. It's not a technical course. He doesn't have to grind during the day up hills. He doesn't have to worry about spraining ankles on rocks. He doesn't have to worry about twisting his leg on a route. He doesn't have to worry about 400 feet of elevation every single yard. It's flat. You just go. And that's been my biggest gripe with the other countries that have flat courses, comparing to the US, because we were third last time and we might have won the team championship before that. But we're racing against people on flat courses, on easy courses, on courses that have no obstacles. Whereas ours is chock full. It's the real deal. It's the whatever. It's the big dog, right? So he doesn't have to worry about any of those things. All he has to worry about is getting his sleep. And when you have a flat course, you can do that. Like I was doing that. You know, I would come in, even at Bob's, which isn't entirely flat. It's not. And it's on gravel, so it's not ideal for fast. But I was able to come in, you know, at 42 or 43 minutes and have that 17 minutes to sleep or eat or whatever. Mostly sleep, especially at night. So he has a huge benefit in that. And I think it'll allow him to go really far. Now, here's the thing. He's still human. He still has to run those miles. And it's still hard. Like, running that same route is going to get really hard on his body. And so that's my it factor. Like, how much can his body take? And you know, the world, the team championships in less than 2 months, just about. But he recovers so quick. Like, I've seen his runs. He recovers like the next day. Like, nothing really phases him. So I'm sure that 2-month window feels like 3 years to him. Versus the rest of us, we're like, yeah, you should not do that. You should not try to break the world record by, 50 miles 2 months before the team championship. So anyways, I think that he'll get into the 140 range, and then we'll see. Like, if he can hit 140, I would be really impressed, honestly. If he can add another 20 yards, I would be really impressed. I think he can do it, and I believe that he can go farther, but I also know that a lot of things can go south, and when they do, it happens quick. Like, it happens in 1 or 2 yards. Like, you can be on track for whatever. You can be on track and you're perfect. Like, he's coming in early. He's got plenty of time to sleep. And then within 2 yards, your entire world can get upside down, turned upside down. Like, everything can hit the fan all at once. Stomach issues, whatever it is. My biggest concern, if I were attempting something like that, would definitely be my health and my body. Like, am I getting rhabdo? Is this knee thing an issue? Is this foot thing an issue? Because the last thing you want to do is get injured and push your body beyond and then have to do rehab. Like, that's terrible. So, like, that's my ultimate fear for Phil, is that he ends up hurting himself. I don't think that he will. I'm just saying, like, that's the worst case scenario, and that's the big question. That's a wild card. So good luck, Phil, and I'll be cheering you on. I think it's going to be really cool. I think you can do it, but it's a lot of miles, my friends. It's a lot of miles. Now, in relation to that, 6-day races have been around for some time. This is not a new concept that he's doing. He's just using the backyard style, the 4.167, as sort of a marker to keep himself going and get the recovery that a lot of the 6-day runners likely wouldn't get. Now, if you know old school stuff, the former world record holder for all this, like 48 hours, 24 hours and 6 days is Yiannis Kouros. He's a Greek runner. I think he's Greek. He's definitely had like issues with citizenship and different things. He's a very outspoken individual, although he speaks a different language, so I don't really know what he's saying a lot of time. But anyways, he was the world record holder for a long time. And, you know, his 6 days is insane. And his 48 and 24 hours is insane, because that was before super shoes, right? All these newer runners have the benefit of super shoes and cushion and electrolytes and all this different stuff. He was doing that back in like the mid 80s and just crushing everything. Like, look him up. Look up Yiannis Kouros. Awesome runner. Definitely was an inspiration for me when I first started running. Like I said, he was the world record holder at all this stuff, and just as smooth as could be. Very like a stocky kind of guy, like a very proud looking runner with a big chest and, you know, average to over average build, I guess. He's not like a real skinny guy or anything, like Jim Walmsley or something. Just like an average guy, but kind of ripped in a way. So yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that. I started going on a tangent, but oh yeah. So anyways, Kouros did 6 days and like this crazy time. I'll have to look it up, but I know it's got to be close to 600 miles. Like, he was cranking out over 100 a day. And not doing it in the backyard format. So he wasn't resting every hour. He didn't have any time limits, but he was just, you know, consistently cranking along. If he got into a backyard versus Phil, man, that's an interesting concept. Who would will Phil Gore or Yiannis Kouros with all the modern technology, if they're all things equal, right? Like, they're born at the same time and all that. That'd be fun. Thought experiment. It's kind of like Jordan versus LeBron. People always want to put LeBron on a pedestal because they never saw Jordan. All the newer NBA, you know, they were born after Jordan retired. Like, they didn't see him play. They don't know like how he moved, how quick he was, and how like just an absolute menace on defense that Jordan was. It's not his offense. It's not his dunking over everybody. It's his defense. It's insane. He was always in the passing lane. He was always just on this fast break, going crazy. And just, he was always there, blocking shots all over the place. 3 inches shorter than LeBron, but so much faster. Insanely faster, quick off the step, quick off the dribble. Just the way that he moved, just too smooth. His jumper, everything about his game was perfect. Like, there was no real weakness. And if he did have a weakness, he made up for it with his mindset and his just will to win. I mean, back to back championships, retired, went and played baseball for a year, came back, played half a season, like the very end of the season, and was still throwing up 30 points here and there, out of shape, and then came back the next year, back to back championships again. Insane. Like, he wanted to win, and his game reflected that as well. I could talk about Michael Jordan all day. He was my idol growing up, and then Prefontaine once I was a senior in high school. All right, well, we rambled a lot today. Rambled about various things, and I think I hit all the points I wanted to. So as far as systems today, my quads are sore finally. Like, they were just a little bit sore, I guess, the other week, but yeah, they're definitely sore today. So I wasn't sure how much running I would do, but I did run over here and I've gotten quite a bit of climbs today. So a real good follow-up to yesterday's just over a marathon. And again, no update on Big, so I'm not going to really worry about that as I come to it. But I am thinking of doing maybe a 24-hour race again, an easier one, but I don't know, that kind of puts me at risk of something happening, so I probably won't do it, but it's in September. You should check it out though. It's called Run for Water. It's put on by Greg Armstrong. Now I wanted to do this race in the past. It's 24 hours. It might be on a track or like a mile course or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, years ago I wanted to do it to qualify for the 24-hour team, but he stopped putting the race on for whatever reason. So I think it's in Nashville and in September sometime. So if you're looking for a 24-hour race, there's also different distances. Go check that race out. He's doing it again this year. I think it was like 2017 the last time he did it. So it's been a while. Almost, that's like 9 years. Like I said, I remembered wanting to do it, and then I was like, oh, that would be perfect. It's close by, it's flat, and it's kind of hard to find close by flat 24-hour races around here. So I was really interested in it. And then he didn't do it. So, but anyways, it's called Run for Water, and the donations, I don't know how much, but a lot of it goes to, he does water outreach in other countries and different places. So they build wells and stuff like that. So it's for a good cause. And it's a very cheap race. Like, it's only $50, I think, for the 24-hour. And it's half that if you're 12. So really cool race, really good cause. So I'll shout out Greg Armstrong's race. I haven't met him. He was also one of the guys that I kind of looked up to when I first started doing ultras. He was on the 24-hour team, which I was trying to make, and he had various ultra running times and records and stuff that I was trying to hit. So I was like, man, he's done a lot of races, but I've never ran with him and I've never met him, so kind of crazy. And he's from Tennessee somewhere, I think. He might be local to that Nashville area. So yeah, I may just go do the race anyways, as like a training run, and just kind of see what happens, because I think I'd just like to meet Greg. He seems like a really cool individual and somebody I'd like to learn from and, you know, just be around. All right, man, I can't remember if it's day 76 or 75. Run a trail every day. Rated challenge, RATED. Run a trail every day. Get out there and do it. Set your goals high, and then get a plan together. So I got through this week. It's kind of like an ultra. You just get through the next mile. Well, I got through this week, and I got Frozen Head done. I didn't chicken out. I didn't make excuses. I went and got it done. I've got the podiatrist appointment this week. I'm actually more excited about that than running, because I would love to get this thing fixed. But today it doesn't hurt. It's so weird. Like it only gets aggravated as we go. So I actually looked up the symptoms 1,000 times, and there's multiple things that it could be, and that's why it's so difficult. Tendonitis, calcification, heel spur, heel bursitis, or maybe something else. So there's like literally a multitude of things that it could be, and I literally do not know. So we're gonna get in there, figure out what the hell's going on, and get that fixed. So if you've got an issue, ask the old chat GPT what it could be, and then get yourself an appointment. I've had good luck, doing things myself. I do a lot of my own research, and I do a lot of my own strength exercises and stretching and various things, programs, and I write my own training plans. And I enjoy that kind of stuff. So I don't think we should be against it, but if something isn't working, you have to consider outside options. So far, my outside options haven't panned out, so we're on to level 3, so to speak. But I wish I would have hit level 3 like 3 months ago. That was the goal, was to go to the physical therapist and get this thing worked out. Did it help? I don't know. I don't think so, because from what the old chat said, doing different strength exercises, if it is something else, will not solve the problem. It will not. And that's definitely how I feel. Like, I feel like I've done all this extra stuff, and it's either exacerbated it or just not had an effect at all, because it's not dealing with the core issue. So it will be good to have a resolution on this either way. And maybe I have to get a 4th opinion. I don't know. Cross that road when we get there. All I know is I'm going to keep running. And if it hurts a little bit, so be it. I've ran through it, like I said, for so long because of days like this, where it literally hasn't hurt at all today. Like, I don't even feel it. It doesn't bother me. It's only when I get late into runs that it sort of presents, let's say. The quads are a little sore today, but other than that, I'm surprised to be able to run, because yesterday was a lot of climbing, a lot of elevation, a lot of pounding, and really technical. My knee is a little sore today, but like I just said, that's kind of to be expected. When you've done your, that kind of terrain, it just beats you up. It's just so much pounding downhill. Downhill is the part where I really have gotten beat up. So I did take it easier though. Like I said, I took all the downhills very casually, and I wasn't in a hurry, and I was watching my footing every step of the way. So I'm really proud of that. Not because late in that run, man, I was getting lightheaded, and I was, been running for 7 hours. So I was just really, where am I at? 4.5 miles. I was just really struggling on that last climb. So, how many this is today? Is this 4? Is this 5? I don't know. I can't remember. Feels like 5. More elevation. Up this hill. In my backyard. On my favorite trail. I'm back. I call this the never-ending trail. Any trail. Any trail. Any trail, anytime, any day. I'm out there. I'm doing it. I don't care. So yeah, I did think I would be in worse shape today than what I am. That's exciting. That gets me pumped up, because that lets me know things are back on. It's on. So, next plans, I'm gonna try to do bigger runs every weekend. So we gotta ramp it up. What are we gonna do, folks? What should I do next? What should next weekend be? We did 29 miles in the ridiculous humidity, 90 degrees. And then we went out to Frozen Head and we conquered 27 miles on tough terrain, down trees, running out of water. What should I do next weekend? Smoky Mountains. Let's go run in the Smokies. That's tough terrain though. It's basically equivalent to Frozen Head, so honestly I think it's easier than Frozen Head. But the elevation I can get out there and being up at 6,000 feet instead of 3,000, that's appealing. That's appealing. It's been a while since I've been out there, so let's see. I'll throw it out there again, see if anybody wants to run in the Smokies. Smoky Mountains, baby. Gotta love Tennessee. All this stuff is in my backyard. Gotta love it. I think yesterday, I'll upload the video from yesterday. I don't think I'm even going to edit it. I think I'll just upload it. I should have did it yesterday, but like I said, I was having lots of issues. So I'll just upload that and leave it as it is. Oh, okay, last thing, because I've got one more half loop left. Last thing. Long ass video, but here we go. I noticed yesterday when I was running, especially downhill and even uphill, that my left foot is more flexed than my right foot. So it's like it's flexed, it's dorsiflexed a little bit upward, and my toes are they're almost touching the ground when my foot hits, versus my right foot, it's much more like a midfoot strike and my toes aren't really flexed. So the years of compensating for that Achilles has left me with an imbalanced stride. And I knew this, but I didn't notice it until yesterday. I noticed it a lot because I noticed I'm like, my right foot is always flexed when I'm coming down this hill, and then the left one isn't activating. And the reason for that is when you have an injury or the Achilles hurts, you stop, you change your foot stride to avoid that pain. And I had just been doing that for so long, not knowing, like, it's not a conscious thing. Like, you're just sort of doing it, you don't realize it. So yeah, this whole time I've been pushing off with my left foot more so than my right foot. And what popped up this year in my left leg but a hamstring issue. So I attribute that to my left leg taking the brunt of the workouts, and I also was doing downhills fast, and so I was just pushing off more with that left leg. So now that I sort of know that, I have to remember it, because I realized this a while back, and then it just sort of like went out of my train of thought. Like it just sort of got left behind. But now that I know this, I am purposefully flexing my right foot and therefore my right toe, because it's sort of your toe, instead of it being pointed up and sort of like taking the impact with your forefoot, or like midfoot, bottom of the midfoot, I'm already having that toe engaged and the top of my foot engaged before it hits the ground. That could have been a big issue earlier in the year, because it was my right leg that was always having issues, and it's probably because I was actually engaging it. So I'll be more focused on that going forward. That was a big thing. I realized that yesterday, so I wanted to mention that on video so I remember. All right, day 76, I think. It's your boy, Backyard Ron, coming from my backyard, saying get out there and run a trail every single day.